And welcome back to Bushland Prairie City High School as we are getting ready for the tip-off of the Spartans season. But first, before we get there, we're going to bring Coach Anderson from Macomb High Bombers as they open the season with a win. And, Coach, I was talking to Scott Holland from the Voice. I about said the Journal because I'm old. But I said to him, I've been doing this a long time, and it probably makes me sound old, but that's probably the best played first game of the season at any tournament I've ever been to. That was a really well-played game.
Well, I thought it went really well, too, right from the start. It wasn't a turnover fest. It wasn't sloppy or sluggish. I think both teams were really ready to play. I give our guys a lot of credit because that's how they've been in practices. We had a great example the other day. I told this story this afternoon up at Quarterback Club. Last Friday, we had to do picture day. And so we were going to take pictures at the high school gym. But then we couldn't practice at the high school gym because the girls were hosting the tournament there all week. So we had to practice over at Washington Street Gym. So we go through pictures. You know, picture day has a tendency to be one of the toughest days of practicing because guys are distracted, you know. And we took the pictures at the high school. We got everybody over to Washington Street Gym, and we had a pretty good practice. And Brock and I looked at each other and thought, that might be the best picture day we've ever had because our guys were focused and they were interested and ready to get something done. And I thought they did the same thing here tonight. You know, that once we got comfortable, we turned up the intensity on defense, we started to play well.
I thought that Watson obviously is going to be a good player for you, but you only had one player in double figures, but you know, you like to see balanced scoring. You had Watson with 20, but then you had 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3.
Right.
I mean, you didn't have anybody scoring a ton of points, but you had a whole bunch of people scoring.
Right. I think the ball's going to be in Connor Watson's hands a lot, which is great for us because he's a really good decision maker. He's going to take shots that are open for him, but he sees guys that are open, and he's going to get the ball to them when they have a chance to be successful with it. You know, the old mantra is the go-to guy is the guy that's open, right? The open man is the go-to guy. And so I think once we get comfortable running some of our sets, we can use that philosophy. And lucky for us, the ball is going to be in Connor's hands a lot of times to get us into those situations.
I think this is the first time the varsity team has been in this tournament, isn't it?
As far as I can remember.
I mean, and they never were in the past. The sophomore team was here one time, I think, but kind of nice opening early in the season and being close to home, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Brock and I were teasing that last time we went to Jacksonville, we spent 9 hours just on the bus alone for the week.
Right.
That's not counting prep time. That's not counting the games. That's just bus time was 9 hours. That's tough, right? When you have young kids of your own at home and you got a young family and during the holiday times, that's awful tough. And so being here now, I'm going to enjoy it. I think it's going to be good basketball, and it's a lot closer to home, and I think we're going to have fun.
Well, you guys, I've talked to several people in the area. You guys are kind of the team that people expect to be good in West Central Illinois. You have some young kids mixed with some experienced kids. Could you be any more happy with how this season opened? I mean, you have those pressures. I mean, I know the kids hear it too. You guys are going to be good. You have to be good. So then you have that pressure on you. Can you be any happier with how they responded to that in the first night out?
I really think something that helps us is in practices, we can be really competitive because there's not a lot of drop-off when we divide up. You know, we usually dress 15 kids, and so we go to practices. We have 3 groups of 5, and if we mix the guys around, the groups are really similar, right? And so we can really compete with one another in practices. And I think that's something that's going to help us continue to get better as we go along.
You've been coaching quite a while. Have you ever coached a team that's this deep and that competitive when you do that?
I don't think so. I mean, I had some groups that I felt really good, you know, to 6 or 7 guys, right? But never looking at 8 and 9 and 10. And you know, we have 3 sophomores that we're going to try to mix those guys in that are really talented too. And so I think it'll be a fun year if we gel. Right? It's all about personalities. How does your personality fit with mine? When I make a couple baskets, are you really happy for me? You know,
right.
And if that's the case, if we can do that, I think we could be a good team.
Isn't that really the when you start bringing the younger kids up? That's if that younger kid is the good kid, that's really the key, isn't it? Getting the older kids who maybe don't get as much playing time because that you're getting them all to gel together. That's really the key, isn't it?
Huge.
Scenario.
That is something that is not nowadays. That's not the common thing. It's to be gracious with that. Nowadays the common thing is to be spurned, is to have an attitude where I'll pout or maybe I'll even quit. And so I think it's something we're seeing across the spectrum. A lot of the coaches I talk to, from my son, playing 4th grade basketball, to other varsity coaches I talk to, is the numbers are down. We don't have guys because they're not willing to stick into it unless they're playing, the main man or whatever. But
Jack Duncan.
You hope that doesn't happen.
Jack Duncan is one that comes to mind. He didn't start tonight, right?
No.
And he came off the bench, had 6 points, and he was a force for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a kid on the football field that's the thing. He's the man on the football field, right? So he comes into basketball, and he's off the bench.
It's a great example of a guy that's very team-oriented, right? Will come in and play defense and rebound and scrape, right? We talk about scrape. Let's scrape, right? Let's get into it. Let's scrape. But then I think Jack does a really good job with that. You look at Connor Ham. Connor Ham's finished 4th in the state in the golf tournament.
Right.
How mentally disciplined and tough do you have to be to do that?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, actually.
And he's got that, and so now he can transfer that into playing basketball for us, and I think that is something that'll be a calming effect on a lot of people also. And so we're looking forward to our group, but we got a long way to go.
Yes, you do. Well, Coach, thanks for coming to talk to us.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to you every night if that's okay.
Yeah, no
we'll
problem.
let you get out of here as we're about a minute away from game time here for BPC and Illini West. You've been listening to the pregame show. The pregame show brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor. They offer the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH Events, live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell. Cheer the Spartans on to victory. John Reynolds is with us. Here, put a headset on, John. Oh, we're going to do the national anthem. We're going to do the national anthem, so we're going to step aside for that, and then I'll have John talk for a second. We'll be right back. Here is actually, we're going to let you hear the national anthem. So the national anthem, and we'll have the starting lineups courtesy of Jake Croxton. I don't know if he's going to go back and forth like he did before. It doesn't sound like he's going to. So we'll let you do the the starting lineups now.
Illini West Chargers, a 6-foot senior, number 2, Nick Menzo. At guard for Whistle Party City, a 6-foot senior, number 20, Grant Ross. At guard for Illini West, a 6'1" junior, number 3, Nolan Dietrich. At guard for the Spartans, the 5'10" senior, number 23, Dalton Horwittle. At guard for Illini West, a 6-foot junior, number 11, Brady Robertson. At forward for Whistle Party City, a 6'3" senior, number 34, Brian Bittner. At guard for the Chargers, a 6'3" senior, number 35, Max Richardson. At forward for Whistle Party City, a 6-foot senior, number 35, Mackay West. And in the middle for the Chargers, a 6'2" senior, number 24, Tanner Freeman. And at center for Western Party City, a 6'2" senior, number 24, Sam Hensley.
So that is the starting lineup for these two teams tonight. And John Reynolds, as I said, is here with us. John, you're probably going to do some West Prairie stuff with Kenny and or Greg as the season rolls along. What on earth brings you to Bushnell tonight?
I got a friend I'm out here watching the basketball games with, and looking to come by tomorrow again to watch West Prairie's first game of the year, see how they look. So last time I watched them play was back in 8th grade, so it's been a while since I've seen them play.
It's you weren't among the favorite few that got to watch the games when we did the 50 or less people earlier last year, huh?
Correct, yeah. I think I didn't sneak in, but got into a girls' game via the tickets or whatever they did back then.
Well, it's going to be Illini West basketball to open this second contest of the night. The Bombers won 54-39 in the opener. 0-0, 7:35 to go in the first quarter. 3 on the way was by number 3, Nolan Dietrich. It's off, no good. BPC with their first offensive possession of the game now for, actually, I guess of the season, isn't it?
Yep.
First offensive possession of the season.
Bushnell Thanksgiving tournament.
And a step on the sideline, and it is a turnover. So a missed shot on one end, a turnover on the other, and it's 7:18 to go here in the first quarter. It's still 0-0. Nick Manzo is number 2. He had the ball there a few moments ago. Number 3, May Richardson. Now Manzo back with it, looking, well, had it tipped away. Bittner comes up with it, and he has it tipped away by number 3, Dietrich, but Bittner comes back down with it as he gets to the top of the key. Between the legs, left side, it goes to Dalton Horwittle. Horwittle dumps it out now to Braun. Braun now, Bittner tries to get it to Mackay West, and it's tipped around. Hensley comes down with it. Sam's going to get it out to Bittner, and they're going to reset the offense with 6:33 to go here in the first quarter. Bittner still on the dribble. He steps back, looks at the 3. He'll take it. It's in and out, no good. High up for the rebound was number 11, Braden Robertson for the Chargers. Now another 3 on the way. That might have been, I don't know, that looked like it might have been tipped, but Dietrich gets the 3 to fall, and the Chargers draw first blood 3-0 here with 6:05 to go. These two games have actually been pretty good, John. I mean, as we got Horwittle driving here, the two teams are all 4 teams really have been taking pretty good care of the basketball. I mean, this is early, but it doesn't look like opening season basketball.
Right, yeah. Usually that first game of the year, you've got to get the butterflies out, but both teams look pretty solid here in the first couple possessions. So.
Sam Hensley from behind the backboard gets that one to fall, and it is a 3-2 here in the first quarter. 5:39 to go. As Dietrich has it again, right elbow, right side, he goes to Manzo. Now it's going to go down in the corner, left side to Robertson, back up to Dietrich. Right side, it goes to Richardson. His shot's off, no good. Hensley up for the rebound. And the Spartans take it back the other way. The left-handed Horwittle loses the ball as he tried to drive. It's picked up by Richardson. And it goes back the other way. It goes over to Manzo. He's going to drive, dump it out top to Robertson. Now 3 on the way, right side of the top of the key. That was by Dietrich. It's off, no good. BPC with the rebound. And a chance to take a lead here with 4:55 to go in the first quarter. Bittner on the drive, baseline, and he gets called for a travel. I don't know if they're going to call that a travel or double dribble for sure, but he looked like he had a chance at a reverse layup. John didn't take it.
Yep. Just missed opportunity maybe. Played a couple of these Illini West kids in baseball, and it's been a while, and
they look a little different, do they?
Yeah. The Max Richardson kid, I've watched him play in a little bit of summer league and seen him dunk a little bit too. So
Nick Manzo, a 3 and 2 buckets for the Chargers and 2 threes, and they lead 6-2 with 4:25 to go. Max Richardson has a tie to Bushnell, actually. There's a 3 on the way to Horwittle. Dalton Horwittle says, hey, I can do that too. Don't be showing off too much, boys.
Whatever you can do, I can do better there.
That's right. There's Richardson down low. Now he's going to pump it back out to Dietrich, and he'll hit a 3.
Yet again. It's 2 on the night for Dietrich.
And it's going to be under 4 minutes. There'll be a mass timeout. And there's been 4 threes made in this thing already, and we were only at 9-5. Who was the lonely guy that made it 2? Oh, it was Sam Hensley. That's right.
One shot from behind the backboard.
Yeah. Horwittle looks at the 3, doesn't take it. Now he's going to go, tries to go to a cutting Hensley. Richardson wanted it knocked away, and what are they? Yeah. The under 4 media timeout. We'll take a break as well here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
helps me reach peak performance
in the weight room.
Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
I became a nurse practitioner because I wanted to do more, I wanted to learn more, actually have more hands-on individually with patients. The rewarding part for me is that I get to come to work and learn something new every single day.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School. 9-5 is the score. 3 trays, a trio of trays for the Chargers. Nolan Dietrich has a pair of them. Nick Manzo has one. Dalton Horwittle has one for BPC, and Sam Hensley has a 2. We're at 3:41 to go in the first quarter. It is 9-5. And these 2 games, I'll tell you what, folks, if you weren't watching a Bombers game against the Titans, West Hancock and Macomb came out like a pair of teams that have been playing for a month or more. And I'll tell you what, neither one of these teams in this contest are looking any different right now. Both of them are playing very well, and all 4 teams coming out ready to play here tonight, which I can't say often enough is how unusual that is. You know, this one's got a long ways to go, but just to come out like they have is pretty amazing. Hensley with it on the low right-left block. Now Bittner, a 3. Brian Bittner hits the tray. Now it is a Tanner Freeman with it. He's going to go, down low. There's the first 2 of the night, and that is by Braden Robertson. The first 2 of the night, I should say, for the Chargers, as Robertson got a great pass from Manzo. 11-8 is the score. And they're going to call a foul. The first foul of the game is going to be called on the Chargers. It's going to be on number 2, Nick Manzo. His first, team's first. And for Illini West, number 14, Jacob Long, and number 22, Trayton Anders. In for BPC is number 3, Jalen Conley. Horwittle going to get called for a travel. A turnover. Horwittle has a couple turnovers trying to force the issue a little bit here. Long with the drive. Off, no good. Bittner with the rebound. Brings it to Horwittle. Horwittle right wing. Back to Bittner now. 2:43 to go in the first quarter. Bittner on the drive now. He's going to go to the hoop, gets a little foul. Count it! And a foul. Basket for Brian Bittner. 35, Max Richardson picks up his first. Team second. Basket is good by Bittner. Second foul on the Chargers. Free throw is no good. Now a 3 on the way by Long. Horwittel's going to go baseball pass to Mackay West. It's knocked away, but West gets it back. He's going to try to go to Hensley. He's going to go off of Hensley, out of bounds. Eleven to 10 is the score. Carter Alleman checking in for BPC. Long with it for the Chargers. Now right side it goes to Anders. Now to Richardson. Robertson drives, or excuse me, Dietrich drives. Richardson gets his first 2 of the contest. 13 to 10 is the score. Chargers with the lead. Bittner with it for BPC. There's Connolly with it now. Now it's going to go to Horwittel. 1:18 remaining in quarter number 1. Conley with it. Up top to Bittner. Bittner with it. To Hensley. Hensley drives, to the rack he goes, and Sam Hensley's going to get the finish, and he'll get his 4th point. Richardson on the post, guarded by Hensley. He can't get it to fall. Alleman with the rebound. And BPC with 49 seconds remaining in the first quarter, a chance to take a lead here, trailing by 1, 13 to 12. 4-3, Horwittel off the back of the rim, no good. Alleman with the rebound. He puts it back up. He's blocked and hammered by Anders, and no foul called. And it goes back the other way as Dietrich has it. Now he's going to give it to Manzo. Now Anders for 3. It's off the back of the rim, no good. Alleman with the rebound. He'll give it to Conley, and he'll go back the other way for BPC. 19 seconds left, still 13 to 12 the score. 13 seconds, remaining. Horwittel to Bittner. Bittner now getting a pick from Hensley, and Anders is going to get called for the foul. That'll be his first, team's 3rd. It'll be BPC basketball with exactly 7.0 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Bittner to inbound. Going to get it into Alleman. To Horwittel. 4 seconds. 3, 2. Now to Hensley. Hensley puts up the long jumper. It's off the front of the rim, and it falls through. Sam Hensley gets the basket right at the end of the quarter, and BPC with that takes a 14 to 13 lead at the end of quarter number 1 here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. This game is brought to you by Hensley Grain and Rural Bushnell. Hensley Grain has a long family history of taking an active role in Bushnell Prairie City School District, and especially Spartan athletics. Good luck, Spartans, in 2021-22, and enjoy this finally regular basketball campaign. And Good Hope Gardens. Good Hope Gardens located at 445 East Main Street in Good Hope. Open April through October. For all of your fresh produce needs, be sure to follow them on Facebook for updates. Grover and Mary Jo DeCounter and family invite you to Good Hope Gardens. Come see where it's grown. And Rosie's Pizza. They offer something for everyone with pasta, sandwiches, and, of course, pizza. Dine in or carry out at 458 East Main Street in Bushnell. They also deliver to Good Hope, Adair, and all points in between. For delivery, call 309-772-2101. So with as we move to the second quarter, it is the Spartans with a 14 to 13 lead. The Chargers have 3 fouls. BPC has 0. Bittner has shot the only free throw. He missed it. So 8 minutes into the season, the Spartans have a 1-point lead on a basket at the buzzer at the end of quarter number 1 by Sam Hensley. So here it is, Horwittel with it now as we start quarter number 2, BPC with the basketball. Horwittel on the dribble, right side to Conley, and he gets called for the travel. He faked the pass and moved his foot instead of dribbling, and it is a turnover here to start the second quarter. Manzo with it. He's going to go to Dietrich from about 17 feet. His jumper's off, no good. Rebound and a putback by Anders. Trayton Anders gets his first bucket, and his team retakes the lead at 15-14. Bittner's going to lose it off his leg out of bounds. And it'll be Charger basketball. 2 turnovers to open the second quarter. Much different than how the first quarter went for the Spartans. Now Alleman with a steal. Conley's going to go down to Bittner. Oh, nice pass from Conley. Maybe an ill-advised pass. I don't know if you want him to throw that all the time, but that was a rocket, and it went right to Bittner. It was a great, perfectly placed pass, but it got knocked away after Bittner had it in his hands. Into Alleman it comes. Now to Horwittle. Out to Bittner at the 10-foot line. He steps it back near half court. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Now Conley with it. He goes left side to Horwittle. Horwittle on the dribble now as he's picked up by Jacob Long. 5-second call coming. If he doesn't get rid of it, he does. Bittner with it now. Bittner looking, still no dribble. Still no dribble, and he gets a 5-second violation. Makai West going to check back in, and Grant Braun going to check back in as well as Hensley takes a seat and Bittner takes a seat for the first time. So 3 turnovers here to open the second quarter for BPC. Manzo with it now, 6:33 remaining in the first half. Let us know where you're watching from, folks. We love to see where everybody's watching from and who you're cheering for. And there is Dietrich with an offensive rebound and a putback. Gets his first 2-pointer of the game. And the Chargers take a 17-14 advantage. Braun backs it back out for BPC. He's going to come to Conley, but it's knocked away by Dietrich out of bounds. Ned Eckert watching tonight. Thanks for helping us let us know, by the way, that the audio is good. It's going to be Makai West inbounding as Hensley and Bittner are back in the ball game for BPC. 5:45 remaining in the second quarter. Braun for 3. It's an air ball long, and it's Manzo catching it out of self-defense. He's going to go to Dietrich. Dietrich goes across to Freeman. Freeman dumps it down low to Richardson. He's guarded by Hensley, and Richardson's going to get the bucket. Unofficially, I got him for 4 points. And there's Manzo with a push in the back. 4th foul on that's his second. 4th foul for the Chargers. 5:19 to go. Hensley has his pass taken away. Dietrich with the steal, and he's going to do the left-handed layup. And it's good. Dietrich gets his 4th point of the quarter, 10th of the game. And it's all Illini West here in quarter number 2. Joyce DeSoto and Darcy Strong watching the Chargers tonight. Thanks for joining us on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. Rebound by Makai West on a missed shot. His shot's short. Rebound by Robertson. Now Dietrich's going to come to Freeman. Freeman now to Richardson. Now, nice cut. A give and go as Freeman from Richardson. And that was a nice play as Freeman gets his first 2, and the Illini West Chargers have come to life here in quarter number 2. Bittner with the basketball. BPC looking to slow things down a little bit. Makai West with it now. Back to Bittner. Bittner for 3 left side. It's short. Rebound off the floor by Richardson. He outlets it to Freeman. The biggest guy on the floor is going to go to the rack, and they're going to call a charge. And Freeman's not happy with it. Thing you need to remember on that play especially is the defensive player does not have to be set. They have to be straight up and down. They can be moving left to right. They just can't lean forward and can't lean back. And Freeman kind of lowered his shoulder and instigated the contact. When that happens, that's most definitely a charge, and that's what happened to Freeman. That's team foul number 5 on the Chargers, and there's a shot and bounced around, and it's going to go out of bounds. Possession to BPC. 4:02 to go here in the first half. 23-14. It was 14-13 BPC at the end of the first quarter. It's been all Illini West in quarter number 2. Freeman on the rebound after the missed shot from Hensley, and it goes back the other way. It's Robertson's going to drive. He's going to dump it out to Freeman. Freeman pulls up, gives it back to Robertson, and Robertson's jumper is short. It's picked up off the floor, and then now Bittner and Richardson are tied up, and Bittner is going to get the foul for BPC. It is going to be Brian Bittner picking up his first foul. Who's number 5 then, do you know? I thought that looked like Ezra, but I was like, well, I'm just going by what I was told. I don't know Jalen, so I was like, maybe he looks that much like Ezra. So Ezra Mason is number 3. Jalen is number 5. Anders is going to get another bucket. And a timeout on the floor, charged to BPC. We'll take a break and be back here at the BPC High School in just a moment. 25-14 is the score. You're listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
At Country Financial, we enjoy serving the community in which we live, big or small.
I love living in the Blandonsville area. It's where I grew up, went to school, and decided to raise my family. I never had a desire to live or work anywhere other than in a small town. I feel lucky to help my longtime friends and neighbors with their insurance needs. It's like working with family every day.
I'm Brett Powell, your local Country Financial representative, whose door is always open to work with you.
Welcome back to Bushland Prairie City High School. As you might have, somebody came and gave me a note. I thought number 3 looked like Ezra Mason, but I don't know Jalen Conley. So I was calling him Jalen because that's what my roster had on it, but those two apparently switched numbers, so I apologize to everybody involved. It is Ezra Mason out there wearing number 3. 25-14 is the score. It's a 12-0 run to open the second quarter, and Miles is standing beside me and listened to me saying the wrong name the whole time and never did bother to correct me. Gives me a thumbs up saying thanks. I appreciate it. Dave Arnold sent me a message. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. You did send me a message to correct me. I apologize for that, folks. But we'll keep it correct the rest of the way. Mackay West with it. Horwittle left side. Bittner has it knocked away. Hensley gets it down to West. West is, man, there's a lot of contact down there. Whew. 2:50 remaining. Dietrich goes to Richardson, now back to Dietrich from Anders, and he gets a great pass to Robertson, who doesn't finish. Mackay West gets the rebound, and Robertson had a great look, just couldn't finish. 2:35 to go here in the first half. Horwittle picks up his dribble, can't get a shot off, gives it back to Bittner. Brian Bittner still on the dribble. Anders guarding him. Left side it goes to Horwittle for 3. It's off, no good. Mackay West with a rebound. He gets it to Hensley. Hensley now goes down to Horwittle. Horwittle to Mackay West. He'll try the 3 right wing. It's no good. Dietrich picks it up, and Bittner's going to pick up his second foul. Bittner picks up another foul for the Spartans, his second. It is the team's second as well, as Ezra Mason is in. 2 minutes remaining here in the first half, 25-14. It's still No points in the second quarter for BPC, but I guess they haven't given up a ton either. They've only given up 12. Now shots off, no good. Holy Robertson tried to get it to Freeman in a hurry. It slipped out of his hands. Dietrich puts up a three. Richardson fighting with Hensley, and Hensley touched it while he was out of bounds. It'll be Chargers basketball. Richardson spends a lot of time over here during football season. He watched the Spartans play on several different occasions and volleyball team play as well. He knows Courtney Oakman rather well, I do believe. Seen him a few times through the season. Freeman puts a shoulder into Alleman and puts the bucket up and in. His 4th point, all in here in the second quarter. (27-14). Kai West with it, 1:20 remaining. Into Alleman it goes. He's going to spin, it's blocked by Anders. We'll go to Richardson. Dietrich stumbled over his own feet there and got himself back up off the floor, though. Anders to Robertson. Down the corner to Freeman. He'll put up the three. It's long. Rebound to Hensley. Hensley will push it back the other way for BPC. 53 seconds remaining. Now Horwittle, top of the key. Gives it to Hensley. Hensley is going to have it knocked away, but a foul's going to be called. Going to be on Anders, his second. Team foul number 6 on the Chargers. Checking back in for the Chargers, number 14, Jacob Long. Ezra Mason with it now. Mason on the dribble. Horwittle. 35 seconds remaining. West now. Mason with it. Oh, nice pass to West, and West can't finish. Long with the rebound, and they're going to push it back the other way. 24 seconds remaining. Dietrich with it. He's going to drive, has it knocked away. Long's going to pick it up, though. He's going to come to Anders' left side. 14 seconds remain. Robertson with it, top of the key, out past the 10-foot line, and then his pass is tipped by Horwittle to Dietrich. Now back to Robertson. Now to Long. Long's going to put up a three, left wing, off, no good. Dietrich tracks it down, but it's going to be the end of the first half of play. It's 27-14. The Chargers with the lead. We'll be back in just a couple minutes here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
I became a nurse practitioner because I wanted to do more, I wanted to learn more, actually have more hands-on individually with patients. The rewarding part for me is that I get to come to work and learn something new every single day.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards, or like circles, or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop because life never stops. It's hard to stop a train.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School as the Spartans trail the Chargers of Illini West High School 27-14. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Ned Eckert was the first Chargers fan to shout something out, and a few others joined in. Keith Yex is here. Maybe we can get him to come up and talk to us at halftime here. Joyce DeSoto says, go Chargers. Darcy Stonger says, let's go Illini West, and Shannon Kissinger watching as well. Go Chargers. Keith Yex is down here in front, and I just gave him the universal sign for you want to talk. I just waved my hands like that, and he's going to come up and talk to us for a couple minutes. Put that headset on there, Keith Yex. This won't be the first time that I've got to talk to Keith. Got to talk to him at a West Prairie Southeastern football game against West Central earlier this year. But I'll tell you what, Keith, the Chargers and BPC looked like they were going to be a great game to start this thing, and then all of a sudden, man, the Chargers really came to life there in the second quarter.
Yes, they did, and Justin Ellison has been waiting for his kids to really break out at the start of the season. Before they came here, they always went to Pittsfield, which, as we all know, there's no easy way to get there. So, I mean, they were more than happy to get into this tournament, a lot shorter drive, and the kids are doing well here tonight. I was surprised, that BPC played well enough to not even have a single foul called on them until 3:43 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, you know what? And you've been doing this for a long time, too. So after that first game, I don't know how – I saw you earlier. I don't know what time you got here. But there weren't very many fouls called in the first game. And it wasn't because they weren't calling fouls. These teams are coming out. I mean, and even though BPC had some turnovers in the second quarter, they still didn't play haphazardly or play real rough. I mean, there's a little bit of stuff chippiness at the end of the first half, it felt like. But these teams have played pretty well for being the first night of the season.
Yes, they have. Well, I mean, a lot of these kids, have been practicing for weeks on end. As soon as they could practice, they were practicing. And that the Illini West kids, the old Illini West kids weren't used to, knowing what that was like, or even the Carthage kids, because I can remember this showing my age. I can remember we played a state championship in 1999, and then on that Friday, and then we were at Monroe City on that Tuesday for a boys basketball game, and both teams had played for a state championship that last weekend. So, I mean, it was like a football game that first half.
What year did Northwestern La Harpe lose to Sterling Newman in the championship game? Was that 96, 97, 98, somewhere in there?
96, they lost to Chenoa.
Okay, it was Chenoa then. Okay.
Yeah, in 96.
When Jackson Jones was playing. Those kids played in that state championship game and then came over to this tournament and played in this tournament. I mean, those two schools aren't used to getting much practice.
No.
They've never had that.
I mean, Max Richardson and Nolan Dietrich, those are two kids to really watch this season for Illini West, and then the rest of the kids are exciting too, but those two are, going to be your go-to guys each and every night.
It's kind of surprising, too, coming out hitting threes. Both teams hit some threes.
Yeah.
I mean, they came out shooting. I mean, last year they got, 5 days of practice before they played their first game in that shortened whatever season you want to call that. They had 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks of solid practice. That probably helps a little bit, but these kids, it's different today. A lot of these kids specialize in a sport, and they practice it year-round, or they play it year-round. Even if they don't specialize in it, they pick one and they play it year-round. And Richardson's going to be a good one, and Dietrich came out just nailing the tray.
Right, and I mean, he last year surprised a lot of people when they brought him off the bench as a sophomore. And, I mean, he really played well down the stretch for the Illini West Chargers in the spring. Nobody knew who he was. He was on the JV there, and then all of a sudden, boom, And he definitely won't be that type of kid that can hide in the shadows this year.
Well, they're out here now. Let's take a look at this tournament, though. Illini West comes in. Northwestern La Harpe was here back in the day when they were pretty good. Dallas City's been here. Monmouth Zippers have been here through the years. But really, I think, when you have West Hancock, Macomb, Illini West, there's some Illini Bluffs is here.
Yeah.
There's some good basketball teams in this tournament. This has got to be, for a small school tournament, a pretty decent opening season tournament, I would think.
I would think so. This one, and you can't discount the tournament down that they now do at Beardstown either,
Right.
My two choices tonight was come here and watch West Hancock and Illini West back-to-back, or go watch Menden Unity play a Southeastern team that should be pretty darn good with Stevens and company. And then I figured, well, this was a shorter drive on a Monday night, so why not come here?
Well, and you, Journal Pilot's where you're working at now, right?
Yep.
So everybody back home can see all the coverage in a Journal Pilot. You've done a lot of cool follow-up stories on players, too, recently, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, like football players and volleyball players and basketball players.
There's a
and
lot more to be done, but you just have to find the time.
Right. It's amazing how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you got to get down there and get pictures. I just saw you stand here talking. You're all tangled up in that thing.
Yeah,
so
I'll get it.
So don't lose your camera when you're trying to get untangled. But Keith Yex, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again down the road.
Okay, thank you.
So Keith stopping and talking to us for a minute. Tell you that leading scorers, 10 points for the aforementioned Nolan Dietrich to lead all scorers. 2 points for Braden Robinson, 3 points for Nick Manzo, 4 points for Trayton Anders, 4 points for Max Richardson, and 4 points for Tanner Freeman. He adds up to 27. 6 points to lead BPC for Sam Hensley, 5 points for Brian Bittner, and 3 points for Dalton Horwittle. They did not score a point in the second quarter, did the Spartans, and they trail 27-14. This game being brought to you by the Community News Brief. For all your local news, subscribe to the Community News Brief, weekly edition, mailed directly to your home every Friday. As an option, you can also receive Monday and Wednesday editions by email. All of this for only $42 per year or $38 per year if you're 65 or older. Single copies can be purchased at select locations in Bushnell, Colchester, and Blandonsville. MTC Communications, having slow, unreliable internet just doesn't cut it in 2021. MTC Communications offers lightning-fast, reliable fiber internet, video, phone service, and camera systems to the McDonough, Henderson, and Hancock County areas. Visit mtc.crowdfiber.com to check your availability. And MDH, thank you for voting MDH McDonough District Hospital Rehabilitation Center as best of the best in McDonough County. Let our experienced and dedicated sports medicine and rehabilitation staff show you why MDH has been voted best of the best in 2017, 2018, 2019, and again in 2020. 3 convenient locations to serve you, 2 in Macomb and 1 in Bushnell. And Heil Enterprises and Heil Trucking, they can take your product down the road near or far and also offer top-notch heavy-duty truck and trailer repair. The second-generation business continues to grow and continues to support BPC athletics. Stop by and see Danny or Travis on Route 41 south of Prairie City or call them at 309-775-3333. So just about ready to get underway. If you missed the first game of the night, Macomb downed West Hancock 54-39 in what was really a pretty good game until late in the second quarter, and it kind of blew up a little bit, but it was better than that, really probably better than the scoreboard said. Those two teams played an extremely good contest, and really both these teams are playing pretty well too. BPC just 2 fouls in the first half, both of them charged to Brian Bittner. Trayton Anders and Nick Manzo each have 2 fouls apiece for Illini West, and Max Richardson and Tanner Freeman have 1 apiece as well. They had 6 fouls in the opening 2 quarters. So we are getting ready to get underway here with third quarter action for this contest. BPC trails 27-14. So we are underway, and it's going to be Robertson with it. He's going to go to a cutting Manzo, and then he's going to throw it to nobody. Actually, he did throw it to somebody on the bench, unfortunately, and a turnover for the Chargers. 7:50 to go. Clock is running here in quarter number 3. Horwittle with it. Goes right side to Bittner. Braun with the 3. Grant Braun gets his first bucket. And then a traveling violation is called on Robertson, and he got traveled apparently before he got ran over. So BPC cuts it to a 10-point ball game. The scoreboard has given us a few problems. I apologize, folks. Bittner with it. He goes to Hensley. He gets Richardson off the ground. He's going to draw the foul on Richardson on a pump fake, and Hensley will be shooting 2 free throws. There was only 1 free throw shot in the first half. Richardson's going to pick up his second foul. And the first team foul for the Chargers, and Hensley's going to be shooting free throws. As I said right there quickly, that one rattles around and falls off as nobody's made a free throw yet. There's only been 2 shot now as Hensley's got another shot at one here. And he makes the second. Dietrich with it on the dribble. And Richardson was open, and he couldn't get the ball to him. 3 on the way by Robertson. And Braden Robertson stops the bleeding for the Chargers, and it's 30-18. Bittner's going to drive on Dietrich and get the bucket to fall. Brian Bittner gets his 7th point, and it's 30-20. Down low, it goes to Richardson, who can't control it. Hensley gets the steal. He's going to give it to Horwittle. Back the other way they go. 6:35 remaining in the third quarter. Now to Mackay West, to Braun. He's going to drive out to Horwittle. Looked at the 3, didn't take it. He drives, pulls up from about 10 feet. His jumper's good. Horwittle with the bucket, his 5th point. And it's 30-22. Richardson dumps it out to Freeman in the corner for 3. It's off, no good. It might have got some rim on the far side. Horwittle with the rebound. Bittner with it now. 6:02 to go. Bittner for 3. It's off, no good. Mackay West got away with a mugging, and it's going to go off of Freeman. And I am not at all sure how that was not a foul on Mackay West as he went over, around, and through through Freeman. Into Hensley. Hensley's jumper is good. Sam Hensley gets his 3rd point of the quarter. Give him 9. And it's 30-24. And a timeout on the floor charged to the Chargers. It is a 30-second timeout. Both teams will have 4 timeouts remaining. We'll keep it here for this short timeout. Game being brought to you by Bushnell Banking Center. Bushnell Banking Center, located at 360 South Green Street in Bushnell, offers full-service banking and loan services for all of your banking needs. Come visit a bank of friendly service or call them at 309-772-2345. Good luck, Spartans. Bushnell Banking Center is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. So BPC, who didn't score in the second quarter, has already scored 10 points here in quarter number 3 and has cut the lead from 27-14 to 30-24 here in the third quarter. 5:45 remains, and BPC trying to come back in this one. Once again, if you're joining us, let us know who you're rooting for. You can name specific players if you want to as well. We got a lot of Chargers fans watching. Who do we have cheering on the Bushnell Prairie City Spartans tonight? If you want to name what player you're rooting for the Chargers, you're welcome to do that as well. We'd love to see everybody, see that live chat open up. Richardson on the block now, dumps it out to Robertson. He gets mugged. I was going to say, they're letting him play a little bit now, but that's going to be a reach-in foul. I don't know who J.D. Beal's going to call that one on. It'll be on Bittner? Oh, Mackay West. His first, team's first. Manzo with it. Looks down to Richardson. Richardson getting double teamed. Out top it comes to Freeman. Left side to Manzo. 5:12 to go. 30-24 is the score. Richardson left corner with it. Now to Robertson left wing. 5:01. Richardson with it. Backs Hensley in. Throws up the bank shot off, no good. And Hensley's going to get the foul after, or Horwittle's going to get the foul, I think, after the shot. Let's see. 23, Dalton Horwittle picking up the foul after the shot. Team's second, his first, and it'll be Chargers basketball after BPC got the rebound. Now Manzo with it out top to Robertson. Now Dietrich. Back to Manzo, top of the key. Right side to Richardson. He'll try the 3. It's good. Max Richardson gets his 7th point. And it's back to a 9-point advantage, 33-24. Now Makai West is going to turn around, puts up the shots, off no good. Richardson with the rebound. Looking to get back into double figures with the lead are the Chargers. There's cutting Robertson. He misses the shot, though. A great look from Dietrich. Robertson couldn't finish. Bittner with the rebound for BPC. He's going to take it down, pull up from about 13 feet. His jumper fadeaway is no good. Richardson picks it up off the floor, gives it to Manzo, goes back the other way with 4:04 remaining in the third quarter. Manzo down in the corner. Now Freeman down to Richardson. Out to Manzo for three, right wing. It's off no good. Bittner with the rebound. He lost it, and it goes to Horwittle. Horwittle now on the drive. Pull up, off no good. Manzo with the rebound. He's going to outlet it to Dietrich. Dietrich now is going to go. Makai West is there, but thinks better of fouling him, and Dietrich's going to get the bucket to fall. That's his first points of the second half. Gives him 12. Hensley now a little up and under around Richardson. His hook shot is good. Sam Hensley gets his 5th point of the quarter, gives him 11. 35-26. 3:16 remaining. Manzo with it. Backs it out after getting it back from Freeman. Still a 9-point basketball game. Robertson looks at the three, doesn't take it. He's going to drive. Stripped away by Braun from behind. Horwittle comes up with it, 2:50 remaining. And he's going to settle things down as BPC has 4 players getting ready to check in for the Spartans. A couple of players getting ready to check in for the Chargers. Braun with it up top to Bittner. Bittner now going to try and drive. He goes to the hoop. His jumper is good. Bittner gets his 4th point of the quarter, 9th of the game, and it's 35-28. .216 remaining. Richardson's going to drive. Hensley's going to push him nearly out of bounds. Manzo for three, right wing. It's off no good. Gets his own rebound. He puts a shot up, off no good again. And Hensley's going to get called for the foul, I do believe. Let's see who they call it on. I think it'll be on Hensley, but we'll wait and see. It's Sam Hensley's first, team's third. Long and Anders checking in for the Chargers. Dalton Strode checking in for the first time for BPC. Carter Alleman checking in. Also number 40, Braden Barker checking in for the first time. And Ezra Mason is back in as well. Anders running in circles around Freeman. And they leave Manzo wide open for a three as there's a little miscommunication there for the Spartans. And it's back to a 10-point game, 38-28. Dalton Strode with it. He's going to go to Mason. Now to Alleman. Alleman just inside the three-point line. His jumper's good. Carter Alleman gets his first bucket. It's 38-30. And along it comes, picked up by Mason. Out to Manzo with 1:25 to go in the third quarter. Dalton Strode picks him up. Long to Anders, picked up by Alleman. He picks up his dribble, nearly has it stripped away. Dietrich for three, top of the key. It's good. Nolan Dietrich has his 5th point of the quarter, 15th of the game. 41-30. Under a minute to go now here in the third quarter, and a double dribble called on Horwittle, and it'll be Illini West basketball with an 11-point lead. 52 seconds remain as Manzo now is going to play a little four corners maybe as they spread everybody out on the baseline. A little isolation basketball coming your way maybe here. Dietrich, oh, a nice pick and roll as Freeman went to the basket. A lot of contact, no foul called, and BPC gets the rebound on Freeman's miss. Ezra Mason with it now. Horwittle right side, as Horwittle was the only one that stayed in the game at the last break. Dalton Strode for three. It's good. Back the other way it goes with 17 seconds remaining. Dietrich with it. He's going to drive. Picked up by Strode, and Strode's going to pick up the foul. Dalton Strode picks up his first. Team foul number 4. So it's going to be Dietrich inbounding to Freeman, to Long. 11 seconds, back to Dietrich. He looks at the three, doesn't take it. Horwittel's there. Freeman to a cutting Anders. He misses. Strode with the basketball on the rebound. 2 seconds. Mason's going to try to loft one up. He just, I don't even know if you could call that a shot. He didn't really have a chance to do anything with it. He had somebody in his face, but that's how quarter number 3 ends. 41-33 is the score. BPC trails the Illini West Chargers by 8. We'll take a break and be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, right after this.
Dry needling is where you insert a filiform needle into a muscle, a tendon, a ligament, sometimes a bone, and it promotes blood flow and circulation so that it heals that particular painful area.
I chose physical therapy because I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field. I wanted to be able to help patients in some way related to more in depth. We get to know our patients, and that's really what kind of sets us apart.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards, or like circles, or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop because life never stops. It's hard to stop a train.
And welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School. 41-33, an 8-point lead for the Chargers. BPC opens the quarter with the basketball. The final 8 minutes is on the clock. Ezra Mason with it. He's going to go to Braun. Bittner has it. Gives it to Hensley. And a lot of contact going on now. Bittner for 3, right wing. It's off, no good. Hensley with the rebound over Dietrich. Goes to the rack. His shot's up and rolls around and falls in. There's a 3 by Anders. Freeman with the rebound. Braun with the steal. Out to Mason. (41-35). Something on the floor. A mask. Not sure whose it is. Must be somebody on Illini West. Freeman. I don't know if Freeman even realized he missed it or not, or had lost it. It'll be BPC basketball. All the things you stop a basketball game for. Who'd have thought 3 years ago we'd be stopping for masks on the floor? But nonetheless, here we are. So it is 7:14 remaining. Fourth quarter. It's a 6-point game, 41-35. BPC trails the Chargers of Illini West. Horwittel with it now. He's going to drive, pull up, 14-foot jumper is good. Dalton Horwittel gets his first 2 of the fourth quarter. And BPC has cut it to 4, 37-41. Dietrich with it now. That's a guy, man, you'd like to see him get a little more involved. And Bittner is going to pick up foul number 3. That's going to be foul number 5 on the Spartans. It is the fourth quarter. I hadn't changed it yet. I apologize for that. Just one foul on the Chargers here in the second half. 41-37 is the score. Chargers have the basketball and a lead. Anders is going to drive. Runner is off, no good. Makai West with the rebound for BPC. 6:35 remaining here in the basketball game. Nice pick by Hensley. Bittner now for 3, right corner. It's long. Manzo with the rebound. He outlets it in a hurry to Anders, who gets down the floor. Hensley beats him down there, but a little hesitation move, and Brayton Anders gets the bucket. Opens a 6-point advantage for his team again. Bittner with it. Hensley, Horwittle. Bittner looks at the three, doesn't take it. He's going to drive on Richardson. And there was about 3 fouls along the way there. They finally call a block, and I think Bittner's going to go to the free throw line. What are we calling? Well, there's a whole bunch. The officials are going to zoom in on the officials here so we know what's going on. The officials having a little conversation here trying to decide. Manzo gets called for the block. So the foul is on Manzo. It's his third. I don't know what the Bittner makes the first. I'm not real sure what's going on here. It's 43-38. Misses the second. Technical foul charged to the Illini West bench. Not real sure what happened. Dalton Horwittle now shooting the technical foul free throws. As I said, I'm not real sure. They said on the bench, but if it was on the coach for saying something. He missed the first, did Horwittle. And he missed the second. So Robertson checking in for Illini West. Long's going to take a seat. No, Anders is going to take a seat, excuse me. There'll be BPC basketball after the technical. 6 minutes exactly remaining, and I don't know if we could get any explanation later on what happened on the bench there, if it was a substitution issue or if the coach said something, but they were down the floor. It almost had to be some sort of a substitution issue. Horwittle's runner is good. Missed a couple free throws, but made the bucket. It's a 3-point game, 43-40. BPC within one basket of the Chargers. Manzo with it. Richardson. Long, nice cut, but Richardson couldn't get him the ball. Robertson now. Right side. Left side, it goes to Manzo. We're down to 5:23 to go here in the fourth quarter. Dietrich's going to drive. Dump it to Robertson. Robertson drives out to Manzo. Manzo for three. It's off, no good. Ball tipped to Long, and it's going to be ripped away. That's Robertson. Jump ball as it was tied up by Mackay West. And it's going to be Chargers basketball, though, with 5:09 remaining in the basketball game, 43-40. Manzo with it. Looking to inbounds. He does get it in. Richardson with it now left side. On the wing, picked up by Hensley. Now down in the corner to Manzo. Now to Robertson. Robertson has it stripped away again. Back to Richardson. Richardson's going to drive. And he's going to dump it. He's going to travel. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Mackay West, I think he thought he was going to get more contact from West than he did. He kind of jump-stopped and then was waiting for contact and didn't get any. And BPC with a chance to tie it with a three here. It's a one-possession game with 4:56 to go, and BPC has the basketball. Illini West going to some full-court pressure now. Looks like it is man pressure. So they're just going to pick them up as they get the ball. Across half court comes Ezra Mason for BPC. Right side, it goes to Bittner. Horwittle's cutting. Picks up his dribble, comes out to Mackay West. West is going to drive now, and he's going to travel just exactly the same way as Richardson did. And Richardson is holding his hand, number 35, shaking his hand, something wrong. Long with it for the Chargers. Manzo. Driving is Robertson, and he's fouled, and count it, as Horwittle is going to pick up the foul, and Robertson gets the bucket. Horwittle picks up his second. Robertson's kind of taken control a little bit here as he's been more assertive in this fourth quarter as his team now leads by 5, 45-40. Robertson's free throw is off, no good. It's tipped. Oh, my goodness. Max Richardson tipped that over the top of Mackay West and up and in. And it's 47-40 just like that. Timeout on the floor charge to BPC. It is a full timeout. We'll stay here and tell you that this game is being brought to you by Webb Family Farms. Webb Family Farms has been growing corn, soybeans, and Spartans for 5 generations. Nathan, Lisa, Jamie, Cyrus, Terry, and Linda wish all BPC athletes good luck this season. And Farmers and Merchant State Bank for over 100 years. Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushnell has been serving the local community's needs for personal and business banking as well as home and agricultural lending. It also has a great trust department, so stop by and see the main branch at 484 East Main Street or their drive-up facility on Cole Street to learn more. F&M, a member FDIC and equal housing lender. And M&B Furniture, Bushnell's only furniture store. M&B Furniture is a mainstay in the community and offers free delivery within 40 miles for everything you need to furnish a new home or to replenish an old one. Stop and see the fine folks at 481 West Main Street in Bushnell, or find them on Facebook, Instagram, or the web at www.mbfurniturinc.com. You can also call 309-772-2111. So timeout charge to BPC. They have 3 timeouts remaining. The Chargers have 4 timeouts remaining. So after the timeout, it is BPC basketball. Bittner to inbound with 4:08 remaining. Back to a 7-point lead, 47-40. Bittner now with it again. He's going to drive, dump it down the corner to Horwittle for 3. It's off, no good. Long rebound to Robertson. He's going to get an outlet it to Long. And 3:54 remaining. Dietrich, well, Robertson was looking for him, but Bittner got a hand on it. Tipped it to Mason, now to Hensley, a spin move, and a reverse layup, and he might have gotten away with a bit of a travel there, but who's to say, I guess, right? That's been a bucket for Hensley, and it's 47-42. Hensley has 15 now. Manzo to Dietrich. Too long for 3, and it's off, no good. Hensley with the rebound. Horwittle now back the other way. Spartans trailing by 5. They have the basketball. Horwittle to Ezra Mason. Mason on the dribble. Picks it up, goes right side to Bittner. Down low to Hensley. His turnaround, a great pass from Bittner, and it's a one-possession game again with 4 straight points from Hensley. It's 47-44, and Hensley's going to get called for the foul. It'll be his second. Team foul number 7 on the Spartans. And the Chargers will be in the bonus. Max Richardson will be shooting the free throw. Freeman checking back in for the Chargers. 2:42 to go. It's 47-44. Richardson at the free throw line. It's in and rolls around and falls through. Back to a 4-point lead. Braun checking back in for BPC, replacing Mason. 48-44. 2:42 remains. 2-possession game, and Richardson hits the second. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the 3rd free throw of the game for the Chargers. Bittner now for 3. It's off, no good. It's going to go out of bounds. Took a long rebound. Nobody was there. And it's 49-44, a 5-point lead and the basketball for the Chargers. the Spartans have had their chances. They've been down by 3 twice with the basketball and not be able to get anything done with a chance to tie or cut it to 1. Dietrich with it, goes right side to Richardson. Richardson pump fakes on Hensley, drives, pulls out to Freeman. Now to Dietrich. Dietrich drives, spin move, pull up jumper, is back, fadeaway is good for Dietrich. And he gets his 17th point, first of the fourth quarter. With 2:10 to go, it's 51-44, a 7-point lead again. Horwittle left elbow, jumper is good for Dalton Horwittle. Manzo, nobody picks him up, but he backs it back out. Picked up by Horwittle now. A 5-point game, 1:50 remaining. This might be a long one. And then Long is going to look for Richardson, but not even Richardson can get high enough to get to that one. A turnover with 1:49 remaining. Dalton Strode's going to check in, replace Braun. And the Spartans have the basketball down by 5. 1:49 remaining. Clock starts as they inbound, and Horwittle brings it up the floor. Horwittle on the dribble. Goes right. Now comes to Hensley, top of the key. Gives it to Bittner. Bittner now is going to drive. Gives it to Hensley from about 18 feet. His jumper's short. It's going to go off of Mackay West, out of bounds. Possession to the Chargers. Braun checking back in for Strode. Timeout's going to be charged to the Chargers. It's a 30-second timeout. Both teams will have 3 remaining. We'll take a short break as well. We'll be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
Dry needling is where you insert a filiform needle into a muscle, a tendon, a ligament, sometimes a bone, and it promotes blood flow and circulation so that it heals that particular painful area.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School. You're looking at the Illini West bench. It was extended to the full timeout because it's, well, I don't know why it was. They both sat down. I thought it was a 30-second timeout. It shouldn't have been should have been standing up. But we're back nonetheless. We don't get a whole on the opposite side of the floor here, so it's hard to hear or see what's going on. Tim Lafferty out talking to the officials now. He's still on the bench for Illini West. See him talking to the official right there in the orange shirt is Tim Lafferty. So 1:28 remains in the ball game. Illini West has the basketball and a 5-point lead. Long's going to inbound to Manzo. Horwittle's going to pick him up at half court as they're going to use as much time as they can to get across half court. I would imagine you won't see him shoot unless they get fouled here. Now Richardson going to give it to Manzo. 1:18 remaining. Down to Richardson. Richardson's going to go to the hoop, and his bucket is good. Into Mackay West. It's thrown away by Horwittle. Outletted to Dietrich, and Dietrich brings it up under a minute to go now. Manzo to Long. Over to Dietrich, and Dietrich's going to be fouled by Bittner. That'll be his 4th. Dietrich will be shooting the 1 and bonus now for the Chargers. Dalton Strode checking back in for Braun. 53-46 is the score. The Chargers with an 8-point or 7-point lead, make it 8. It's like foreshadowing. Dietrich hits his first free throw out of the bonus. And he hits the second. Shots off, no good for BPC. It's 55-46. Now Strode's going to foul Richardson after the rebound. 37.2 seconds left. And probably to the point now it would take a miracle for BPC to get a win here, but we'll see what they can do. Max Richardson's going to go back down the other way. Alleman checking in for BPC, replacing Mackay West. Richardson's going to shoot the 1 and bonus. He made 2 free throws on a 1 and bonus earlier. That one rattles around and falls through. So the Chargers had not shot a free throw until the fourth quarter, and that's only the second one they've missed now. They've shot 9. Bittner with it, 30 seconds. He'll put up a 3. It's in and out, no good. Richardson with the rebound, gets it out to Dietrich. Down to Freeman. And Strode is going to pick up a foul again.
Spartan personal foul charge number 34, Brandon Bittner. That's his 5th.
Oh, they gave it to Bittner. I don't think that was on Bittner, but there's been a few of them that I didn't think were given to the player that I thought they were given to. Braun's going to check in to replace Bittner. 56-46. 19.8 seconds left, and Freeman at the free throw line. Double bonus. Missed the first. Made the second. Horwittle with it, 15 seconds remain. Dalton Strode now. Alleman, pull up, jumper from the free throw line, off no good. Hensley comes down with it. He goes to the hoop, and he'll get it to fall. Sam Hensley gets another bucket. And that'll be the end of the ball game, though. 48-57. BPC drops a 57-48 contest to the Illini West Chargers. We'll take a break and be back with some stats and Coach Snyder in just a few minutes.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards. Or like circles. Or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop because life never stops. It's hard to stop a train.
At Country Financial, we enjoy serving the community in which we live, big or small.
I love living in the Blandensville area. It's where I grew up, went to school, and decided to raise my family. I never had a desire to live or work anywhere other than in a small town. I feel lucky to help my longtime friends and neighbors with their insurance needs. It's like working with family every day.
I'm Brett Powell, your local Country Financial representative, whose door is always open to work with you.
Some farmers I know swear by a name, say they'd never operate anything else. Well, here are a few names for my Fendt 900 Gen 6 series. Fuel Saver, Time Maximizer, Game Changer. I like those names.
Welcome back to Bushland Prairie City High School as we wait for Coach Snyder to come talk to us. I do want to tell you some stats here. As BPC does not play tomorrow night, but we will be here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. It's going to be Kenny Suter on the call for 2 games tomorrow night. I have a pool board meeting I'm going to go to. I might come out for the late game if I get done in time, but we'll have Kenny Suter on the microphone tomorrow night. 57-48, the final. BPC falls to Illini West here in the second game of the evening. A great first night, really. I mean, I've been coming to a lot of these games through the years, and I legitimately think that this is probably as good of a first night of a tournament for Thanksgiving as I've ever seen. It was a good one. Haley Ray watching Cole Kirkham. Christina Hunt's cheering on Max Richardson from Huxley, Iowa. Awesome. And Joyce DeSoto says, nice win, Chargers. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Good, awesome to have all the Illini West fans watching us tonight. So for scoring tonight, a game-high 19 points for Nolan Dietrich. He was 2 for 2 from the free throw line, had 3 trays on the night as well. 14 points for Max Richardson, but he got it done at the free throw line. He was 3 of 4 and hit a couple big ones, as did Dietrich when their team was really in a tight contest early in the fourth quarter. They did not shoot a free throw, did the Chargers, until the fourth quarter. They finished the game 6 of 9 from a charity stripe. 6 points for Nick Manzo on a pair of threes. Braden Robertson had 7 points. 6 points for for Trayton Anders. Wrote it on a wrong line. And 5 points for Tanner Freeman. The Chargers had 13 points in the first quarter, 14 in the second and third quarter each, and 16 in the fourth quarter. For BPC, a game-high 19 points for Sam Hensley. He was 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. 11 points for Dalton Horwittle, 10 points for Brian Bittner. The Spartans, though, 2 of 7 from the free throw line is all. And I've harped on this a lot, folks, and I probably will do it some more. The fact that these two teams combined to shoot only 16 free throws is just amazing in an opening night contest. It's almost crazy. And in the first game, those two teams combined to shoot 18 free throws, and they actually made 12 of them in the first game. These two teams made 8 of 16 in the second game. The second game a bit rougher. They probably let a little bit more stuff go than the first game, but the fact that they were able to play and not have tons of fouls is pretty amazing. Thanks, Ned Eckert, for the compliment. I appreciate it. So I'll tell you what, we're waiting on Coach Snyder to come out here. This post-game show is brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH Events Live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell. Cheer the Spartans on to victory. So we've been happy to be on the air here with the first 2 games of the season. And we'll get Coach Snyder to stand down here. Get you stand down there, and we'll get Miles to get you on camera so everybody can see Coach.
Hey, Will, you don't want to do our camera? You don't want to do our camera anymore? Take stats?
Will and Charlie Hensley are here, and Coach has got his headset on and ready to go. Coach, I don't know what anybody expected out of the first night of basketball at this tournament. I know you didn't get what you wanted with a win, but those were 2 games that were pretty good basketball games for being the first night of the year.
Right, and watching that first game and with Macomb and West Hancock, I was like, there's some good basketball in this area, and I'm excited to play those 2 teams coming up. And you're absolutely right. Obviously, I'm not excited about the outcome of tonight's game, but very proud of our guys. I'm not sure if you talked about it, but we didn't score in the second quarter.
Oh, yeah, I tried to. I mentioned it when it happened. I tried to let it go after that. But the fact that you guys – and you guys had chances down 3 to make it a tie game or a 1-point game on 2 or 3 different occasions, and just couldn't get it done. But the resiliency was there for this team tonight.
Right, and I told them at halftime. I talked about that. We didn't score in the second quarter, guys. Like that's huge. If you don't score in a 4-quarter game, you don't expect to win too many. And the fact that they came out in that third quarter and executed exactly what we talked about in the locker room to kind of fight and claw back into that game and be down. I think we got down to 1. Was it 43-42? I think somebody told me in the locker room, I think it was 43-42.
I didn't think you ever got it down to one, but maybe you did. I don't remember off the top of my head.
But anyways, if we, I heard we went 2 for 7 from the foul line.
Yep, that's what I had you too, or had you also. But you went 2 for 7. They went 6 for 9, which ended up kind of being the key in the fourth. They didn't shoot a free throw to the fourth quarter.
Right. Yeah,
So-
I don't think we shot until the third. Maybe?
Oh, you shot one early.
We shoot one in the-
Bittner shot one in the first quarter, and then Hensley shot 2 in the second,
that's right.
third quarter.
He had an and one. That's right.
Yeah, he had an and one. So,
Or and
yeah,
one, made basket.
Yeah, he
shot a free throw.
Yeah, he made he missed the free throw
Right.
afterwards, but the mentality to come out in your first game and not score in the second quarter, but still come out in the second half. I mean, you have to feel good about what these kids maybe can do as you push forward, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, it was all praise in the locker room after the game. I told them they could either tuck their head between their legs and just take that butt whooping that they were getting, the first half, considering we didn't score in the second quarter. And they didn't. Like I said, they executed exactly what we talked about, and we fought and clawed back into that game.
I suppose there's the opposite side of that. Hensley got the bucket at the end of the first quarter to give you the lead at the end of the first quarter.
Right.
It could have been a lot worse at halftime. You guys didn't score, and you were only – I say only, but you're only down by 12.
13.
Or 13, I guess. Yeah. So it could have been a lot worse. Your defense didn't completely leave you, at least, so that was a plus, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And like I said, I told them, at halftime, I said, you know what? We didn't score in the second quarter, and they scored what we did in the first quarter. So we know we can score that many points. We just got to go do it. And when we box out and rebound and not kind of just stand and watch a little bit, we're going to be a tough team. Not so much, I don't think, physically tough. Like we're not, all weightlifters who are throwing around 250 pounds in the weight room. But we don't have a give-up attitude. And that's what I like about this group, because we don't give up.
Well, and they showed that, and they stayed chippy throughout. They could have quit, and they stayed with it the whole time. And Bittner, I think, is going to be the surprise of this team. I don't know what people think. You think of Sam, right? And you know Sam's going to be there, and maybe a player or two. But I think Bittner is going to be the one that surprises some people. When I'm watching tonight, I knew Bittner played some last year, but he's got a lot different and bigger role, I feel like, for you guys this year.
He does. And not having Shane this year, I don't want to say it hurts us, but they're completely different if Shane's on this team. Not having Shane because of his ACL surgery makes us all have to step up, and it forces some guys into different roles like you're talking about. And I've told Brian, I'm like, you might be a post or you might be a guard. I need you to learn both. And he has accepted that responsibility, and other guys as well, like Makai West. He's kind of, him and Brian will be the ones that flip-flop as far as a post and a guard if we do that scenario. And they both have bought into that, and I think it's shown tonight. They're not backing down from anybody, which is great.
This tournament has always been a pretty solid tournament. With the addition of Macomb, you still have West Hancock. You have Illini West, who everybody expects to be pretty decent. Mm-hmm. You guys are obviously, I think, better than people thought you were going to be. You got Illini Bluffs in the tournament. Right. This is a pretty good Thanksgiving tournament.
Yeah, having the regulars, us, West Prairie, who should be pretty good this year. They have a good senior class. West Hancock, who has been in this tournament, and then to get Illini West in this tournament, and like you said, Macomb and Illini Bluffs, and you got to come firing out of the gate, because you got 5 tough games right out of the gate. So it's not like an SEC team in football playing
Georgia Southern or something, right?
I was going to say I don't want to say anything. But get anybody in trouble.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's playing somebody who they shouldn't be playing, really.
Right.
I think that, and I don't bring up West Prairie or even Bushnell really, because neither one of you guys are like perennially good basketball teams of late anyway. Those other 4 teams, for the last 10 or 15 years have always been good. And then you add in the fact that Bushnell's playing pretty well apparently. West Prairie should be pretty decent this year. That makes this tournament pretty fun. And you've been around a while. When was the last time you saw in 2 games to open a tournament where all 4 teams combined shot, 34 free throws?
Probably not very many
No.
in 2 games.
Yeah.
Usually you're going to have about 27 in a game. But again, I thought it was a well-officiated game, and you can't take anything away from those guys. And,
I don't think it was officials not calling. I thought your game kind of got a little more physical than the first game.
I don't think they, as far as like on the shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think both teams defended well, and like I said, the officials officiated a great game.
Yeah,
No
I
complaints on that end.
I don't disagree with you at all. It's when I say they didn't shoot very many free throws, it's because the teams played well.
Right.
I don't want anybody to misconstrue or get lost in the fact that 4 teams came out tonight and played good basketball on opening night, which says something about what they did leading up to tonight, I think.
But doesn't that also go to show you that when we have a getting ready for a full season a little different than, the
5 days or 6 days you had last year?
You got to have 7 practices and you can play a game. And,
right.
But no, like I said, I'm extremely proud of our guys and how we competed tonight. So I don't have anything to.
So you got tomorrow night off.
Yep.
Is that good or bad after the way you played tonight? Do you wish you could get right back on it, or can you build some stuff in practice tomorrow?
Practice is tough because we don't have a full practice time because the girls got practice.
Right.
So we only get an hour, so the girls can get in and get their work in because it's only fair. But for us, it's, hey, let's critique some little things. Why didn't this work when we did do stuff and we moved on offense and shared the basketball? We had a layup or a wide open 3. So that'll be kind of practice tomorrow, and obviously we're going to shoot some free throws. But
obviously, hopefully you get to shoot more and make more than 7, right?
I would love to make more than 7.
Right.
That would be awesome.
That would be
great. As long
great.
as we're not shooting 28.
Right. Exactly. It's all relative, I suppose, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, thanks for talking to us here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. We'll be here every night, so we'll expect to talk to you after every one.
Oh, boy.
Kenny Suter will be here tomorrow night, so if you want to plop down and sit beside him, I don't know. Kelly Sears sent me a message. He might be here tomorrow night, too. But if you want to stop and talk to Kenny Suter or Kelly Sears or any of those guys, a 3-person crew might be kind of funny with you and Kelly and Kenny.
I don't know if I can handle that.
It might.
No, those guys are fun. I enjoyed my time talking to those guys, too, so that's fine. No, I'll be here tomorrow just watching and doing a little scouting and stuff, but mainly just trying to rest. Putting in long days. They start now, so.
And they're going to last a long time, aren't they?
Yeah, all the way to March.
Yep.
Hopefully middle of March. But
there you go. All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you Wednesday night, I guess.
All right, sounds good. Thanks again.
Yep. Coach Snyder talking to us here on the post-game show. The post-game show has been brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH Events live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell, and cheer the Spartans on to victory. Christina Hunt says, great game, and Jonna and Judson Hunt want to give a shout-out to Aunt Courtney Oakman, who was watching in the stands tonight. So, for Miles, I'm Dwayne Hewlett. A 57-48 win for the Chargers over the Spartans. The Bombers picked up a 54-39 win over West Hancock in the opener. We'll be back tomorrow night. Games start at 6 o'clock. Pre-game show should be at 5:15 or 5:55. BPC does not play tomorrow night, but we'll be having all the games from the tournament right here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH on our YouTube channel, Hewlett Puppy Pro LLC. So make sure you subscribe, like, and join every contest that comes on. If they're all like tonight, it's going to be a fun week here at Bushnell Prairie City High School for the Spartan Tip-Off Classic. I'm Dwayne Hewlett. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night. See you.